Hey guys, Foxtrot here with a 3-minute champion guide for Elise jungle. You may have to pause or re-watch certain parts of this video because I'll be going through the details quite quickly, and as always, if you want to vote for the champion I do next, the details on how you can do that will be at the end of this video. Elise has been one of the strongest junglers for quite a while now, and she has really good ganking and really good dueling too. All of these things mean that she can heavily influence the early game. She also has quite high base damage, which means that she doesn't need to be building damage herself in order to deal damage. And finally, Elise is one of the best junglers for taking away dragon. For runes, I go Hyperpen Quints and Reds with armor yellows and magic resist blues. For masteries, I like to go 2190 or 921, it's up to you, whatever you prefer, more damage or more tanky. And my skill order, I go Q, W, E. Your build on Elise jungle is going to be quite tanky because, like I said at the beginning, you don't need to be building damage in order to deal it. Her AP scaling is actually quite bad, however all of her abilities do magic damage, therefore Spell Pen is a very good stat on her. Now some people, specifically Night Blue, like to run a Doran's Blade start on Elise, but I don't personally like that, so I start with Hunter's Machete 5 potions and then get my Ancient Golem and Sorks as my core items. Most of the time I find myself getting a Haunting Guise as well, however if I'm fairly behind, I won't get that. The more ahead you are on Elise, the more you can get away with buying some DPS items, so the stuff you're seeing now are good choices. However, you'll never want to be building flat DPS, and a lot of the times you'll be buying a lot of tank items, so all the stuff you're seeing now are good options. Early game is where you want to be having the most amount of pressure possible when you're playing as Elise, because that is where she is at her strongest. Doesn't make much sense to be at your strongest point and not do as much as you can. This means that you want to be ganking a lot early, but you can also be invading the enemy jungler too once you hit level 3. Elise is probably one of the best junglers at counter ganking as well, because if the enemies have dedicated into a gank and then you show your face, you're pretty much guaranteed to get a kill. And finally, something to be doing that doesn't necessarily show up on your score but is good to do nonetheless is to harass the enemy jungler. One combo from a human into spider form easily puts the enemy jungler on below 50% health, and whereas you may not kill them, that significantly reduces the amount of pressure that they can then have. And this of course makes it easier for your laners to play. Mid game you want to be doing stuff similar to what you're doing in the early game, however look for windows of opportunity to take away that dragon. You don't really need too much window when you're playing as Elise because she can take away dragon very easily. In addition to this, you can look to execute some good tower dives on vulnerable lanes as well. Elise is very good at tower diving because she can kill the opponent and then use her repel to drop that tower aggro onto the minions. Late game Elise is weaker than she is in early and mid, but considering how strong she actually is in those stages of the game, that's quite understandable. Look to try and catch people with your cocoons and also zone enemy carries from the fights. Good stuns and the threat of you destroying their carries is often enough on their own to give your team the advantage. So for a quick tip when you're playing as Elise jungle, to avoid having objectives stolen from you like Dragon and Baron, use your Q in Spider form in combo with your Smite for a higher burst, because your Q in Spider does an execute damage, which means the lower health the target is on, the more damage it does, so this can combine for a huge amount of extra damage. So thanks a lot for watching this guide guys, I hope you found it useful. If you did like it, feel free to give it a thumbs up, and as always you can vote for the champion that I feature next by heading over to my Facebook page, which is facebook.com/foxtrotlol, like that page and then find the appropriate status where you can cast your vote. Remember, you can follow me on Twitter and you can catch me streaming on Twitch too, but thanks a lot for watching guys, and I will see you in my next video.